Alrighty, guys. Josh Higgins here from the Basketball Fix podcast. Now, we're going to be continuing on with the Future Hoops presented by Reebok Australia. First episode is out now with Austin Foxwell, and the second episode is coming out today. As you can see, I got my special guest on the screen with me. We've got Paris Spencer from WA. Paris, welcome to Future Hoops and the Basketball Fix.
Hello, thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here.
No, definitely. I'm really excited to obviously learning more about your journey. We met down at the Hot House for people who are probably thinking, what are we talking about? We're talking about the home of the Rockingham Flames, and your name was recommended by a few people there to get in touch with and to get you on the podcast as well. So absolute privilege to have you on, and really looking forward to learning more about your journey. You've probably been through a lot more than some athletes have at this early point in your career, both good and bad, obviously, as well. So I'm really looking forward to diving into it as well. But let's dive into it. Let's talk about your early life. When are some of the earliest memories that you remember picking up a basketball, playing basketball, and really falling in love with the game?
Yeah, it was around when I was around 9 years old. I joined my first domestic team, actually, for my old primary school. And there was this coach that asked me from a Manja Magic team for a wobble team, and they asked if I wanted to play wobble. So I was like, I'll give that a try, give that a shot. And I really enjoyed it for Manja Magic, a couple of seasons, really enjoyed it. And then I made my first state schools team, which with new different girls, with different coaches, different everything. Yeah, I really enjoyed that too. Then I moved on to Rockingham Flames for top age 14s. And made my first nationals for 14s there. And that was really fun. And I really enjoyed that. So, yeah. And I've made some state teams in the 14, 16, 18s the last 5-ish years. And, yeah, I've just really been enjoying basketball lately. So, yes.
Definitely. No, it's been an incredible journey. And, you've played obviously at all different levels. Obviously, like you mentioned, you've got the domestic side of it. You've got the state representation leagues as well. And what have you sort of learnt? Because, it's such an interesting one because like you've got the factor of wanting to have fun, and then you've also got obviously the competitive nature, also trying to be better, trying to make these teams and make the cuts. And there's just so much going on. So how do you sort of handle everything, obviously trying to still have fun with it, but then also still trying to work really hard and get yourself to the next level?
I know. Practice makes perfect, just practice, training, just doing everything you can at this point. Putting in 100% in each training, that's how you get better. Don't slack off, don't do everything. Yeah,
it's definitely it's such a tough one, especially as well. And you've obviously got the challenges as well around being a young athlete, with rocking up to training multiple times a week and then still having to balance a school life and, a family life and a friend's life, and the sort of trials and tribulations that come with that a little bit as well. So how have you sort of found the whole, coming to the end of your schooling and still trying to really focus on your basketball career as well?
Yes, what my parents say, schooling's like a priority. If you want to get to college, you got to have a good GPA. And got to make sure schooling's a number one priority, same as basketball. Can't slack off there. Get bad grades, can't achieve good things in the future. So, schooling is very important.
How do you sort of, we'll speak about a bit more of advice later on, but what sort of advice would you give somebody coming through the ranks? Let's just say, we'll wind it back to a 13, 14-year-old who, is wanting to pursue a basketball career, and a high level one at that, which you have as well. What would be some advice that you'd give them about sort of balancing the importance of school and obviously still the importance of getting better on the court as well?
Probably, never give up, never stop chasing your dreams. Do what you're comfortable. Never listen to the haters too. So people are going to put you down, but you just got to keep pushing, keep doing everything you can to get better. Because you're going to have those people that are just putting you down, but you're gonna like achieve good things in the future if you keep positive.
100%. No, definitely. That's really good advice as well. And just continuing to do your path as well, I guess, is one of those things as well. And, we spoke about off the top, you've dealt with a lot of adversity in your young career so far? And this is where we'll sort of digress into the next segment as well. And currently, as of right now, you're recovering from an ACL injury. And, you
Yep.
know, I imagine 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this was an injury in which, would ruin careers essentially. And obviously the way that science has become and everything, it's one of these injuries now that, 8, 9 months down the track, you're fully back and you're better than ever. But as being so young with the world at your feet, this would have been a very daunting sort of time for yourself when, you went down with the injury. And,
Yes.
how were sort of the feelings around it? How were the first couple of months with obviously sort of dealing with the long rehab process, and how are you going
Mhm.
now with it as well?
Yeah, I was very devastated, to be honest. It was right before I flew out to my nationals too, like 2 weeks before I flew out. So I was just like heartbroken. But
Yeah.
no, I had so many messages, so many positive messages, like people encouraging me to keep going, never like give up. So yeah, these couple months have been pretty boring, but no, you just got to keep pushing through. Yeah, it's going to be much better in the long run, you know?
Definitely. And how have you treated this period? Because, there'd be people who would probably fall away from the game,
Yeah,
probably looking at the rehab process at a young age and kind of going, oh, is this worth it? Spending 9 months out of the year and sort of having to, be dependent on other people as well for a period of time once you're recovering from surgery. But I'd imagine for you, knowing you very briefly, I think this would probably light a bit more of a fire in your belly to continue to get better and continue to
yeah.
get back and be at a really high competitive level.
Mhm. Yeah, it's gonna take small steps. Yeah, it's a couple months. Yeah, but when you progress, you're gonna be get better at like being able to do more stuff. Like I'm able to run and shoot and get on a court and do like small trainings. But a couple months ago, I wasn't able to do any of that. Like it's
Yeah.
a massive progress already, so I'm just grateful for that.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I saw you down at the Rockingham Flames training
yeah,
sessions a few weeks ago as well, which is also good. I know you're sort of only just walking through the drills at the moment, but starting to get the feel back again, I guess, and the
yeah.
excitement would be starting to come as well, which is really, really
Mm.
positive signs and steps in the right direction as well. So when are we targeting a return? It will be potentially end of this year, early next year. Is that sort of the guidelines and the rough timeline?
Yes, hopefully to be medically cleared by December
Yep.
or early January. But that's my goal. Yes.
Definitely. And what's sort of the goal when it comes back to playing? I know we'll touch on it in a little bit in terms of your long-term goals, but
Yeah.
what are some of the short-term goals? I know you spent a little bit of time at the Perth Lynx last season. Is that something that could potentially kick straight in? Because that's kind of around the sort of timelines when the season would have just started essentially as well.
Yes. Hopefully. Let's
Yep.
just hope. Yeah, I'll be asked to come back and join again. But if not, I'm just like NBL one is my other step. What else is there? Yeah, just progressing with everything. Hopefully, I'll be able to make
Definitely.
some more state teams, under 18 state teams coming up too. It's my goal too.
Yep.
Yes.
Plenty going on as well, and I'm sure Coach Ryan Petrick will have to get into him over the next couple of weeks and get you back down there at the Perth Lynx. But let's get into some of these long-term goals as well, because as we've mentioned and as we've sort of spoken about already, you have had an incredible career to date. Like you mentioned, state representation, obviously high-level wobble in the NBL One West sort of leagues as well and teams as well, and obviously a bit of WNBL stuff as well. But what is the long-term goal for you? Obviously, there's college, there's continuing on down the WNBL route, there's the WNBA, there's leagues all around the world. So if you could start to carve your own path out and, set where you want to go, where would that roughly be and why?
Well, I still got a couple years to get into college, so
Yep.
my goal is right now to just be back training with the Lynx. And then if a path opens up for college, then for sure take that. Then yeah, of course WNBA, my dreams.
Yep.
But no, college is definitely one. But Lynx is for sure right now. Yeah.
100%. And is college a place where you've always wanted to go? You spoke about it earlier with making sure that you had a really good grades and obviously the GPA behind you, we know is so important as well to becoming a college athlete. So has that always been a major goal of yours as you've continued through your basketball journey?
Yes, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. Definitely. And obviously as well, like a couple of the big things as well is when we do talk to some of the young athletes, they've got their dream schools, who they watch college basketball, they see some of their favorite players go through the ranks as well. If you could pick one or two colleges that if realistically you could go to and you got the call tomorrow, who would they be and why?
I don't really know.
It is a tough one. There's so many good schools out there as well. UConn's
Yeah,
obviously a big one for women's
yeah,
college as well.
yeah, UConn is like up there. Um, yeah, I'll literally be open to anything. Any
Yeah.
college that gives me, I'll take it at this point.
No, definitely. And sort of when we are talking about you as a player as well, can you give us a bit of an insight into sort of what style of player you are? Because it obviously is a really important thing nowadays. And,
Yeah.
from everything that I've sort of been told as well, you're an absolute well-rounded athlete and can do so much on the court. So what is Paris Spencer's game style and how do you sort of impact on the court as well?
Well, I'm mostly known as a 3-point shooter, but I
Yep.
am very I can play any position. But no, a two, a guard is like my role. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's
definitely.
obviously comes with a lot of scoring, and at least obviously the 3-point shot is well and truly there as well. But what
Huh.
parts of the game have you got to continue to learn and grow to sort of become the best complete player and athlete that you possibly can over the next couple of years, heading into hopefully some college opportunities, obviously further WNBL opportunities, and hopefully the end goal obviously of making it to the WNBA as well.
Um, Probably being able to play every position, being able to
Yep.
guard every position too. Like that's pretty difficult to be able to play guard and play big at the same time, and being able
Yep.
to guard a guard and be able to guard a big. Yeah, like that's
Definitely.
yeah.
It's such a it's one of those things. Obviously, there's so much to work on. I think some
And
athletes get to a certain age where they're kind of like, okay, I feel like I'm as good as I can, and then 6 months down the track, they've added another aspect to their game, and once again, they're continuing to grow and conquer what was the previous sort of best as well for them. And I want to dive into this because when we do talk about future hoops, it's all about young athletes talking to young athletes, and we get to come
yeah,
on here and speak to all of the upcoming players from around Australia. We've had Austin Foxwell on as the first episode. Obviously, you're on as the second episode. We've got Taylor Marsland coming on in a couple of weeks as well for the third episode of Future Hoops, and plenty other athletes are coming on the Future Hoops episodes. But there are kids 13, 14, maybe even younger as well, who are going to be watching some of these episodes. And I guess what I want to learn and give to those younger kids is some advice that you have for them. And again, like we've spoken about, you've had so much adversity in your career so far, but what are a couple of pieces of advice, that you could give to a younger person coming through, even if it's just something that you wish you knew at a younger age?
Oh, tough question. Hmm. Probably listen to your coach and whatever your coach has to say, just roll with it.
Yep.
Yeah, never stop giving up. If you have a goal, chase it. What else?
That is a good one, but the coach one has actually come up already, it's very interesting because I feel like as kids, your
Yeah.
first thing is to rebel from people who are telling you what to do. Like I think there's,
Uh-huh.
growing up, and it's interesting that you and Austin have both said, listen to your coaches and listen to people because, essentially they know what they're talking about. It's actually quite interesting. It's quite refreshing to hear because I'll be completely honest. It's probably why I never made it anywhere, to be fair, but I reckon, I was trying to get out of training more than not when I was growing up as a kid. And, obviously that's a reason why I'm here talking to young athletes, obviously coming through with incredible careers. But it's a very interesting one to sort of hear and refreshing as well. But have you got sort of any sort of mentality sort of advice as well? Like when we talk about sort of sitting there and, I'd imagine there would have been days, we hear it all the time with long-term injuries. There's those days where you kind of just like, this isn't worth it. I'd just rather give up now and sort of throw the towel in. So what are some advices and some lessons that you learned that you could also pass on to another athlete in those similar situations?
Yeah, like I'm always like on the sidelines just watching. I'm like, oh, they could have done this, they could have done that. But
Yeah.
in reality, you're on the court, you make those mistakes too. Like just sitting on silence, you learn so much more than when you're on the court. You can see
Yeah.
everything. But no, probably. Just stick with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just like watch everything. Hard.
Yeah. It's so
Yeah.
tough. And, you know, again, as well, like with these podcasts, like these are, it's hard to sort of talk about yourself. It's hard to sort of give out that advice. And it's, you know, it's daunting. You know, you're all so young and, you know, I'm in awe of all yous. I think you've all play an amazing brand of basketball, and there's a reason why you've got so much ahead of yous as well. So, you know, I think people just watching on the podcast and listening on what you guys are talking about, I think is really, really crucial to the next wave coming through as well. And obviously, you know, you probably don't know it right now, but you're well and truly a role model for some of these other players coming through as well. So, you know, we've seen you on socials and putting everything out there as well, and rehabbing your injury and the positive attitude. I don't think I've only seen you a couple of times down at Rockingham, but even when I see you, you've always got a smile on your face. You're always supporting the club and doing the small things as well. And that's what I've heard from pretty much everyone that's sort of come across you as well. So a massive kudos to you, and obviously congratulations on that as well. And, you know, again, so much basketball left ahead of you, and I'm sure there's not going to be a thing that you don't achieve in your career up until this point. So keep working hard at it as well. But I've got a couple of questions as well that I want to answer from you. Now, rapid fire answers, nothing too crazy. Should be nice and simple to sort of answer as well. But who's your basketball idol right now? It can be a couple of people, but who's your idol as of this point, and why are they your idol as well?
Probably Caitlin Clark for 3-pointers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Paige Buckers.
Yep.
Steph Curry's always been one. Kyrie Irving for his ball handling. Yeah, that's basically it.
Nah, it's a nice little, very nice little sort of introduction to sort of some of your role models as well. And
Yeah.
when you talk about a lot of skills there, but do you look at sort of the mentality, the longevity of those players as well? Like Steph's coming into obviously like his 18th season. Obviously, Caitlin is having to take on the face of the WNBA and the adversity that comes with that as well. Or when you look at a role model, is it more just about, okay, they do that on the court and that's what I want to bring to my game?
Yeah. Like you look at them like, I want to do that. I want to do this. Yeah. So this role models just gotta like follow what they do, you know?
Definitely, 100%. It's a tough one because I think sometimes when you look a little bit further into some role models, you know, there's different types of role models. There's, you know, people who speak well, or there's people who can sell themselves well, or who play well, or are just a superstar, and that's as simple as it is. So it's always interesting learning why a role model is someone for a certain person as well. And talking about a little bit of gear as well, obviously Reebok, you got some gear sent from them, I should say. I'll eventually get it out there as well. The Engine A's, if you had a chance to try them out, and obviously I saw a few little clips there on your social media as well. So what did you think of them, and would you recommend them going forward as well?
Yes, for sure. They're so comfy. They're like a really supportive shoe too. So a nice training. Yep.
No, definitely. That's the sort of the feedback we've been receiving. It's a real comfortable shoe to wear, which is also great. And continuing on with the rapid fire questions, what are a couple of the other shoes that you've been rocking in your rotation? Because as we know, all basketball players have 101.
Yeah.
What have you got? What's on the way? Yep.
Yeah, I usually got like a couple pairs of both of them. They're like my go-tos. Yeah. That's
definitely.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously another quick one as well, which, you know, as everyone growing up loves a good little pre-game meal, or even the night before meal before you go into a game as well. You're a carbs girl, or what's sort of the favorite meal of choice pre-game?
Probably tuna on rice cakes.
Ooh, nice. Bit of cheese on top, or no cheese?
No cheese.
No cheese. All right, we'll go for the standard tuna on rice cakes as well. And you've probably played against some really high caliber players in your career so far, and you're playing at state levels and national levels as well. So who's probably been one of the better players that you've played against? I know it's obviously a pretty broad question as well, but who's been one of the girls that you've kind of sat back and gone, Okay, she's pretty darn good.
Olivia, I forgot it. I don't know how to say her last name. Do you know how to say it? Olivia from, yeah, I don't know, from Queensland.
Yep.
She's like idol. She's very good.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, from Lynx, Ali Wilson, Amy Atwell, all of them. They're all very good players. Annalie Maley.
Yep.
Yeah, there's heaps.
Superstars there, and shout out Chibba as well. Obviously,
You
Rockingham and the Lynx as well. she'll
are-
she'll love a little mention in there as well.
yeah.
But that's the thing with the Lynx as well. Like it's such a they probably haven't had the championship success that you probably would have thought a lineup of that caliber would have. And you've obviously been coached by head coach Ryan Petrick down there for a number of years and been around him as well for a couple of years as well. Is that situation there been one of the best to really continually develop you with there's so many, you just rattled off a few names there in terms of they're like household names realistically in basketball standpoints as well. So what's that sort of environment been like for you coming through and sort of having some of the best in Australian basketball at your disposal?
Oh, they were just elite players to play on. They were
Yeah.
like on guard. Like you try guard them. They were like, oh, it was so hard. Like the experience is just so cool. Like
Yeah.
to play against good players. Like I've never played against people that good before in my life. So it was such an accomplishment to play against them, eh?
100%. No, definitely would. And well, obviously going forward as well, where can we continue to find and follow your journey? Because there's still so much exciting times ahead. Obviously, there's still a lot of hard work to go the next 4 or 5 months as you continue to rehab back from this injury. But as soon as that is over and done with, you're going to be back on the court in no time. And where can we find and continue to follow your journey?
At Paris_Spencer123.
Perfect. The old 123 on the end. And we'll make sure as well that the link is down in the description below as well. So you can check out and continue to follow Paris's journey as she goes along. But Paris, thank you so much for jumping on today's episode. It's been an absolute pleasure learning a little bit more about you and obviously hearing a bit more about your journey as well. You got a really, really incredible story. And if anyone could take out so much in this episode, to be fair. Obviously, you've got the injury, you've got where you've come from and how you've gotten to where you are as well, and sort of the positive attitude that you've got as well to getting back. And I'm sure you're back in no time and be bigger and better than ever. So I'm really excited to see where your journey continues to go, and obviously good luck for the rest of your rehab as well.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, definitely. Absolute pleasure. And if you want to check out, obviously, the previous episode of Future Hoops with Austin Foxwell, make sure you click on the link below. There will be a playlist for all future episodes coming out. And at the end of this week as well, we'll have an episode with Taylor Marsland, another WA girl who Paris has played a little bit of basketball as well with over the journey, I believe, in some 3x3 competitions as well. So make sure to check out that episode coming out in future days. But once again, Paris, thank you so much for jumping on today's episode. And until next time, we hope you've gotten your basketball fix.